speaking.
I'm giving you a chance, sweetie.
What is that?
Sending location coordinates.
We're under attack!
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
We'll find out about this.
The 33 best action movies of 2024 so far. From superhero flicks to crime and disaster movies, these blockbusters should be on your watch list. 2023 was an interesting year for Hollywood, as the industry went through a game-changing strike. Several of fall's most highly anticipated releases were pushed to the next year, while superhero blockbusters arrived in theaters to mid reviews and disappointing box offices. Suffice to say, the action genre could really use a reset. Luckily, 2024's action movie slate is already filled with exciting new releases, from the Mad Max spin-off Furiosa to collaborations between A-list stars. Below, we're tallying up the action flicks to look out for throughout the coming year. Hello everybody, we thought it's time to talk about action movies, therefore please see this list and let us know what you think. Anything else we should have added, please let us know. And please do not forget to share our videos and subscribe to our channel. The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham, Emmy Raver Lampman, Josh Hutcherson, Bobby Naderi, Minnie Driver, Felicia Rashad, and Jeremy Irons. Why it's worth watching: Statham plays the titular beekeeper Adam Clay, also a retired assassin for a secret organization. When his caring landlady Eloise, played by Rashad, loses her savings in an online scam, he fights his way up the chain of scammers' ring in a highly entertaining quest for vengeance. Argyle, starring Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston. Why it's worth watching: a homebody novelist played by Howard is pulled into real danger when her book's details hit a bit too close to the workings of a real spy organization. Combine a stacked cast with a fun premise and we're all in. Madam Web, starring Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, Celeste O'Connor, Isabel Merced, and Tahar Rahim. Why it's worth watching: the Sony action flick about yet another Spider-Man side character introduces Casey Webb, a New York City paramedic who gets clairvoyant powers and faces dark secrets from her past while protecting a trio of teen girls. Come for the time-twisting action, stay for the meme potential. Dune Part 2, starring Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Stella Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Javier Bardem, Austin Butler, and Suhaila Yacoub. The sequel to the Oscar-nominated film finally came to the big screen this year, as director Denis Villeneuve continues to adapt the acclaimed sci-fi novel, this time with much more Zendaya. Damsel, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Angela Bassett, Robin Wright, Ray Winston, Nick Robinson, Brooke Carter, and Shohreh Aghdashloo. For her latest Netflix project, the Stranger Things star plays a damsel who has to rescue herself when she discovers she's meant to be sacrificed to a bloodthirsty dragon. Roadhouse, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Jessica Williams, Conor McGregor, Joaquin de Almeida, and Post Malone. Why it's worth watching: this remake of Patrick Swayze's cult classic 1989 film follows Gyllenhaal as an ex-UFC fighter who takes a job at a bar in the Florida Keys and gets to work taking down a local gang, featuring real-life UFC fighter McGregor. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, starring Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, and William Atherton. The sequel to 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife sees the Spengler family traveling to the iconic New York City firehouse to link up with the original Ghostbusters, who will reprise their roles from the hit 80s films. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters, new and old, must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age, per the film's description. Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, starring Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Dan Stevens, Kylie Huddle, Alex Ferns, and Fala Chen. In the sequel to 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong, with Hall, Henry, and Stevens reprising their roles, Godzilla and Kong must team up to defeat a colossal undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own, per the film description. Monkey Man, starring Dev Patel, Sharlto Copley, and Makaran Deshpande. Why it's worth watching? Patel's long-awaited directorial debut finally made its way to theaters thanks to producer Jordan Peele. The Lion actor also stars as Kid, an underground fighter who seeks revenge against the corrupt power brokers who caused his mother's death. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, starring Henry Cavill, Isa Gonzalez, Alan Ritchson, Alex Pettyfer, and Cary Elwes. Guy Ritchie's latest blockbuster is based on the true story of a secret group of World War II spies who use ungentlemanly tactics to fight Nazis. Rebel Moon Part 2: The Scaregiver, starring Sofia Boutella, Ed Skrein, Michelle Huisman, Bey Duna, and Anthony Hopkins. Why it's worth watching? 4 months after Zack Snyder's first Rebel Moon film hit Netflix, Part 2 continues the epic saga of Korra and the surviving warriors as they prepare to sacrifice everything, fighting alongside the brave people of Veld to defend a once peaceful village, a newfound homeland for those who have lost their own in the fight against the Mother World. Boy Kills World, starring Bill Skarsgård, Michelle Dockery, Jessica Roth, Brett Gelman, and Famke Janssen. A deaf-mute man with a vivid imagination and an inner voice inspired by his favorite childhood video game is determined to take down the crime family matriarch who killed his family. The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Hannah Waddingham, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Winston Duke, and Stephanie Sue. This blockbuster, inspired by the 1980s TV series of the same name, stars Gosling as Colt Seavers, a retired stuntman who's drawn back into the business when his ex Jodie asked for his help to find the star of her studio film who's gone missing. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, starring Owen Teague, Freya Allen, Kevin Durant, Peter Macon, and William H. Macy. The latest film in the Planet of the Apes franchise continues nearly 300 years after the events of the 2010s trilogy, at a time when ape civilizations rule and humans have regressed into a feral state. As a new tyrannical ape leader builds his empire, one young ape undertakes a harrowing journey that will cause him to question all that he has known about the past, and to make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, Lila Brown, and Tom Burke. 9 years after Charlize Theron stole the show in 2014's Mad Max Fury Road, her character, Imperator Furiosa, is getting a prequel, with Taylor-Joy stepping into the role, after being abducted from her home into a savage biker horde led by the warlord Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. Furiosa faces many trials as she plots a way back home through the wasteland. Atlas, starring Jennifer Lopez, Simu Liu, Sterling K. Brown, Gregory J. Cohen, and Mark Strong. J-Lo's latest action flick will thrust the star into a futuristic galaxy-spanning adventure. Per the film's description, Atlas Sheffer, played by Jennifer Lopez, a brilliant but misanthropic data analyst with a deep distrust of artificial intelligence, joins a mission to capture a renegade robot with whom she shares a mysterious past. But when plans go awry, her only hope of saving the future of humanity from AI is to trust it. Hitman, starring Glenn Powell, Adriana Ariona, Austin Emilio, Retta, and Molly Bernard. Richard Linklater's new action comedy, based on the wild true story first reported in Texas Monthly, follows a professional killer who works for the cops. When he breaks protocol to help a desperate woman flee her abusive husband, he starts falling for her and toys with the idea of becoming a full-out criminal. Bad Boys: Ride or Die, starring Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Vanessa Hudgens, and Ioan Gruffudd. Smith and Lawrence's detective duo will return for the fourth installment in their franchise after the hit 2020 revival. Though the plot's under wraps, we know that Louis' estranged son, Armando Aretas, will return. Horizon: An American Saga, Chapter 1 and 2, starring Kevin Costner, Sienna Miller, Ella Hunt, and Jamie Campbell Bower. Former Yellowstone star Costner wrote, directed, produced, and stars in this two-part Western epic about the settlement of the American West, which spans 15 years and includes both the lead-up to the aftermath of the Civil War. Beverly Hills Cop: Axel F., starring Eddie Murphy, Taylor Page, and Kevin Bacon. 40 years after the original buddy cop comedy, Detective Axel Foley, played by Eddie Murphy, returns to Beverly Hills. After his daughter Jane's life is threatened, the father-daughter duo team up with a new partner and some old friends to uncover a conspiracy. Twisters, starring Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones, and Maura Tierney. The 1996 action thriller Twister is the latest 90s classic to get a 2020s revival, following new teams of storm hunters. Per the film's description, a storm season intensifies, terrifying phenomena never seen before are unleashed, and the competing teams find themselves squarely in the paths of multiple storm systems converging over central Oklahoma in the fight of their lives. Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Jennifer Garner, and Leslie Uggams. Based on the film's first teaser, the story involves the TVA from Loki and the MCU debut of several X-Men characters, including Jackman's Wolverine. Borderlands, starring Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, and Edgar Ramirez. This big screen adaptation of the best-selling video game franchise of the same name follows a crew of misfit heroes, think Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, who must battle an alien species and dangerous bandits to uncover one of the most explosive secrets. The fate of the universe could be in their hands, but they'll be fighting for something more, each other, per the film's description. The Union, starring Halle Berry, Mark Wahlberg, Jackie Earle Haley, and J.K. Simmons. This action flick is a tale of two high school exes who went down different paths. Mike, played by Wahlberg, is an everyday construction worker, while Roxanne is a secret agent. When they reunite, Mike is quickly thrust into the world of surprises and secret agents when Roxanne recruits him for a high-stakes US intelligence mission.
Like the FBI or something?
Kraven the Hunter, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ariana DeBose, Christopher Abbott, Russell Crowe, and Livy Miller. Another Spider-Man anti-hero is getting their standalone movie. In this one, Taylor Johnson plays a Russian nobleman who sets out to become the world's best big game hunter. Transformers 1, starring Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Scarlett Johansson and Lawrence Fishburne. This new animated Transformers movie will tell the origin story of a young Optimus Prime played by Chris Hemsworth and Megatron played by Brian Tyree Henry went from brothers in arms turned into sworn enemies.
Swimming. How fast?
Venom: The Last Dance, starring Tom Hardy, Juno Temple and Chiwetel Ejiofor. The third Venom film will bring the unlikely buddy comedy duo of reporter Eddie Brock and his ruthless alien symbiote back to the big screen. Back in Action, starring Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx and Rylance Jackson. Foxx and Diaz, who returned to acting after 10 years, team up for this Netflix action comedy about everyday parents who used to be secret agents. Years after giving up life as CIA spies to start a family, Emily and Matt find themselves dragged back into the world of espionage when their cover is blown. Red One, starring Chris Evans, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and J.K. Simmons. The Rock and Captain America are co-starring in a holiday action film featuring J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus? This we have to see.
Who's he?
Gladiator 2, starring Paul Mescal, Denzel Washington, Joseph Quinn, Pedro Pascal, Connie Nielsen and Derek Jacobi. The star-studded sequel to the iconic 2000 action film follows Lucius, played by Mescal, the nephew of Commodus, who is now a grown man after being saved by Maximus, played by Russell Crowe in Gladiator. The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim, starring Brian Cox, Miranda Otto and Sean Dooley. The world of The Lord of the Rings is returning to the silver screen in animated form. This prequel will be set 261 years before The Two Towers and stars Cox as the legendary King Helm Hammerhead, aka the namesake behind Helm's Deep.
Ever since we last met, I made some.
Carrion, starring Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman, Sophia Carson, Daniel Deadwyler, and Dean Norris. This Netflix action thriller follows a young TSA agent played by Egerton as he flies to outsmart a mysterious traveler who blackmails him into letting a dangerous package slip onto a Christmas Eve flight. Spider-Man: Beyond the Spider-Verse, starring Shamik Moore and Mahershala Ali. The final installment of Miles Morales' trilogy may not arrive until 2025, but after the cliffhanger ending of 2023's Across the Spider-Verse, we are keeping hope alive that the third film may hit theaters ASAP. Anything else we should have added, please let us know. And please do not forget to share our videos and subscribe to our channel.